This is so fucked up. So one of the things that has been happening a bunch with Trump is there's this insistence on talking about what a great father he is and that his kids are decent people. And so, like, it's odd. Now, that seems like it would be a point of attack that you would have used when he was up against Biden and we're dealing with, you know, Hunter is the second son, and people are going to forget Beau, who was a great guy because he's been dead for a while, and you know, and that kind of stuff. So they're going to focus largely on Hunter and question, you know, Biden's parenting skills and all that kind of shit. Even though any person can fall into addiction, and it's not the parents' fault, especially if it happens later in life when they're a fucking, you know, they're in their 30s, for God's sake, when that shit starts, right? You know, especially if they've gone through a trauma and all that kind of stuff, right? Nobody's holding that against Biden, but that would be when you would sell that. If you were really going for the fucking jugular, that's what you would go for. For some reason, and it might just be that he's running against a woman now, there's this big thing about, and women are going away from him, that there's trying to make women think he's a good guy. And one of the things is he's a good father. They're trying to use this idea that he's a good father and a grandfather. And his sons are fucking a mess. Like, I don't know about Barron. Again, he's too young. And he was minor during all this other stuff. So I kind of leave him aside. And we'll see what he turns into when he's in a few fucking years. But early, you know, like Don and Eric are just assholes. And Don's fucking coked out of his mind and high constantly. He's like, you can tell he smokes weed to take the edge off the coke he's snorting, and his eyes are fucking glossy and it's fucked up. One of the things they keep doing is this: you're a great dad and a great father. What's your secret, right? And Tyrus goes into some of this shit and asks, you know, Trump about this. This is Tyrus. And Tyrus, I don't know how tall he is. We'll have to look it up or whatever. But Trump is shrinking. And yet at the same time, he's wearing high waters. I don't understand that at all. It's very weird. But here we go. This is, maybe it's his diaper when it squinches, it pulls his pants up. We don't know. But this is, he's asking him about being a father and a grandfather.
Who have said things like, you've paid medical bills, you paid mortgages, rents, you've helped get family members. There's one story in here where a brother came in with a business plan, nobody would hear him. You gave him 10 minutes, you shook his hand, and you cut him a check. Yeah. Why is it so hard for you and even your team? I'm a little upset. These are things that I think the American...
By the way, a brother, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. One of the biggest stories about his family is the fact that his nephew, I believe it was, his brother Fred's kid, has a son who is disabled and incapacitated and has, like, you know, I believe, you know, he's locked in, he can't, you know, express, but he can see, he knows his family members just can't express it. And Trump was like, why don't you just let him die and buy yourself a condo? You're spending away all this money keeping this dead weight alive. It's fucking gross. And maybe that's why. Maybe this is how they're compensating. They're making people like Tyrus do cleanup. It would make sense.
And I get it, you're humble because you're a father first.
Yeah, yes, totally. He's a father first. Absolutely. Never mind raising kids is fucking women's work. Like, you can even look at him when he says this, Trump's face is like, you're fucking kidding, right?
Yeah. And a grandfather. And that's something, again, one thing we need in this country is we need a father figure again. We need...
No, we don't. Fuck you. I don't need a father figure. We've got George Michael's and we're fine. We have his entire catalog. Thank you very much. I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. Put your Tyrus hand in mine. I will be the one who loves you till the end of time. Do. I don't need a fucking father figure, you asshole. I need competent fucking leadership in an executive position in the government. I have a father. I am a father, you piece of shit.
Husbands and boyfriends and young men need to see that fathers are capable of great things because we've dealt with us.
What? Sorry, no. Trump is not your fucking surrogate. Mr. Third Marriage buried his kid's mom on a fucking golf course. Are you shitting me? What, OJ wasn't good enough for you? You don't, I'm sorry. What other father figure, like, we lost fucking Cosby. It's a shame Epstein didn't have any children of his own.
Especially in the last 3.5 years, right? A complete dismemberment of what it is to be a man. We're under attack.
What?
For everything.
We are.
No, we're not. No, we're fucking not. Sorry, but being a serial sexual assaulter and rapist is not integral to manhood. Fuck you.
Well, actually, manhood is
Yes.
under attack. I see.
Yes, I understand that there's like old men that dye their hair piss colored and wear a bunch of orange makeup and wear shoulder pads to cover their drooping, sagging, tittied body that are chipping away at the masculinity of the fucking country. Meanwhile, liberals can't even lift weights and have terrible muscle structure.
Things that are so beautiful, and the next day I see they're knocking the hell out of somebody for doing something that a day before I said, what a wonderful thing.
Oh, yeah? What would that be? Sexual assault?
No, we have to get back a little bit more. You know, the other thing under attack is religion. Religion was like the glue that kept this country together, and
Oh, yeah? Which one?
so many people are mocking it now. They mock it, and it just kept our country together.
Sorry, you think mocking religion is new in this country? You're fucking kidding me, right? I'm sorry. Have you ever seen Sam Kinnison's bit about whether Jesus is coming back? Yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back as soon as I can play the piano again. I'm the only savior who can use his hand as a whistle. Right. Yeah, mocking religion. That's the problem.
But it's absolutely under attack.
Also, you're a fucking Darwinist. This asshole is not a Christian by any stretch. Neither is Tyrus. Neither one of these fuckers goes to church. I'm sorry. I can't be the only person. I have a Bible on my desk. It's kind of a fresh wound with me.
And under attack by this administration.
Why? How? How is it under attack by this? Oh, because they didn't want people to go to church during COVID and die. They didn't want the vast majority of Christians in this country, which are elderly by volume, to die. So they were because they didn't want these people to meet Jesus sooner.
And you look at Kamala, she's worse than Biden. Biden is
Catholic, goes to mass, has ash on his fucking forehead on Ash Wednesday. Celebrates Easter for fucking real. What are you talking about?
he's out of it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But she's actually not as smart as Biden. Biden was smarter than her. I think to this day he is. And I don't think the country can take a chance on having her. I think it's a tremendous... I don't even think it's a chance.
Well,
Let me ask you this. Would you consider being a tiny, whiny little bitch masculine? Do you think manhood is under attack because every time you get asked a normal question that you should be able to wax on about your own personal life, you kind of just go into blame mode and start sounding like a shitty old man at a fucking diner counter in the middle of nowhere who talks your fucking ear off and spits on your neck about flat earth? Do you think masculinity has taken a hit because these are our choices? A dude who did steroids until he has bitch tits and a guy who just has bitch tits. Is it like, you think maybe that might have had something to do with why masculinity has a bad rap? Because you're interviewing an adjudicated rapist and pretending it doesn't exist? You know, because there used to be a time when one of the signs of masculinity was that you would beat the living fuck out of a rapist if you got your hands on him. Whether it was your sister, your friend, your mother, or a woman you even knew. In general,
I think it would be a disaster.
That's it. That's his whole answer, by the way. And they're trying to, and again, they're trying to rehab this dumb motherfucker so that women like him better. Okay? They're trying to fix him up. Okay, and then, all right, let's see the manhood is under attack. There's a bunch of this is the this whole like bullshit that you're a dad and you really care and all this bullshit is so weird. They've been telling, and that's the whole fucking conversation is this story. Okay, so, and here's part of it is why. Let's go to Tyrus has this thing where apparently Trump talked to Tyrus's daughter, who was on the she came to the taping of Gutfeld with him. Yeah, and Trump allegedly talked to her for 20 minutes. This is the story. This is why he thinks he wants this side of Trump to be seen.
Juicy. I'm Brian.
Hold on. Oh, shut up. Hold on. It's this thing.
I actually owe you an apology before we start. I've been very critical about how you fight all through the campaigns. I voted for you because I like policy. I didn't know you as a man. And I think when you don't understand what a man fights.
Sorry, what policy was that? You like this policy? Which one? The anti-immigrant stuff, the Muslim ban, the tax breaks for the upper 1%, the never-ending search for a replacement for the ACA, a never-ending infrastructure week. What fucking policy?
Or you can get lost, especially with all the noise we're seeing from fake news, etc.
Yeah, it's the noise. That's what it is.
Who created these pictures from you.
There is noise.
So Gutfeld show's over. Cameras are off. We go backstage, and I expected you to be like every politician or anybody I've ever celebrity I've bodyguarded for, and you met my family, and you talked to my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter is 10 years old. Her name's Georgie. You guys talked for 20 minutes. If nobody...
Yeah, but granted, that was the only intellectual parody he could find in the building, even with Gutfeld around.
Knew. You could have been her grandfather, and you were talking about her horses and her dreams, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight.
Okay, guarantee it was 3 to 5 minutes. He did not sit there for 20 minutes after the show was over talking to this dude's daughter. Didn't fucking happen. 5 minutes tops.
You're a family man.
No, he's not.
Yeah, well,
You're a father.
And your daughter's a gorgeous, really, and your wife, the whole thing. I mean, you have got...
Oh, I see. So his wife was sitting right there too, was she? Was she dressed conservatively? Nothing plunging about her outfit that kept your attention while she was sitting right behind her daughter as dad stood over in the corner going, wow, he really seems to be paying a lot of attention to my daughter, who's oddly standing right in front of my wife's breasts.
Some setup, I'll tell you. But your family's great, and you're great, and you've really done something, and you've captured a certain spirit.
Yeah, totally generic things, and also generic words.
You know, a friend of mine who's very smart, he's also a very big guy.
He's got tits? Is it Bob?
He said, because I'm big and strong, people think I'm not the smartest guy.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Trump doesn't think Tyrus is smart. This is his way of telling him to his face.
Okay? You are a really smart guy. And I see it, and I've watched it, and I like the show, and we have the privilege of having had the highest rating in the history of the show when I...
You know, all this dumbass had to do was say, Georgina is a lovely girl, and she really loves that horse, and its name is, what's its name again? Pepper, I think she said, or I'm going to blitz a name. I hear a lot of names, so tell me the name of the horse again. That's right. And she rode it around, and I remember the story, and she was saying she was very proud of it, and stuff, and your wife was taking great care to, do it, but she was very well-mannered, and blah, blah, blah. Like, you talk about the fucking kid. It's not difficult. And I would be shocked if they're not fucking there with him at the time. But he can't. He doesn't remember any of it. And it's not true. It's just an ass-kissing session. He didn't give a fuck. It wasn't 20 minutes. It was 5. And the idea that he hung out after the show, unless they were waiting for a car, and your daughter was the only person that would talk to him because everybody else had it. Right? 20 minutes. Get the fuck out of here.
I did it a couple of weeks ago. That was just
Of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
We beat network television.
You beat everybody.
You beat network television for the first time. Congratulations.
They were up 35 million homes,
right. Yes.
and it was a landslide.
Yep.
Great. Anyways, what was your daughter's name again? 35. Yeah, I killed it. Fucking ratings. Yeah, everybody watched it, and it was awesome. And yeah, it was totally real. And never mind the fact that Rupert Murdoch bought the Nielsen rating system and moved it to South Africa. That shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter that they do most of the calculations and stuff in China, at the servers that they use there. And he moved the Nielsen system out of the country after he purchased it. And it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter that after that, Fox wins the ratings all the time. That's not important. It's not important that Rupert Murdoch bought the Nielsen rating system. It's not important. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So I just wanted to dip into that a little bit because they're really doing this. He's got a problem with women, and it's massive, and they know it. And every time they try to bail him out, he attacks The View or attacks Kamala Harris and calls her stupid in a way that seems tied to the fact that she's a woman. And there's fucking, they can't get him out of it. He won't put the shovel down. He will not put the shovel down. And he's going to lose. And he knows it. And everybody around him knows it. And they're trying to rehab his image so that they can defend him when he's in court next year. Because that's what Fox is going to be about. Holy shit. Fox is looking with fucking dollar signs in their eyes. When Trump loses, I almost said if, when Trump loses and he ends up in court next year, can you imagine the viewership that Fox is going to have from their regular viewers as they, you know how during Bush, the West Wing was effectively like a fantasy Democratic leadership that Democrats would watch the West Wing and kind of dream about if Bush wasn't in office. Right? We had that to watch instead, and the same thing is going to be true of maggots when Trump loses and he ends up going through his court system. They're going to be watching this, watching Fox, who will rewrite the circumstance that he's going to be just fine. He's going to get away with it. They're not going to be able to get him. He's going to beat all of it, and he's going to show them, and they're going to lead those folks on for months and months and months as we watch these trials work their way out, while Lawrence and Maddow and other people are going to be talking frankly about whether or not he'll beat one charge here or another, or lose another one there, and the genuine time that he's fucking going to, he's going to face. While Democrats are getting a dose of reality while we have a Democrat in office, Republicans are going to be watching this fantasy land on Fox News about Trump beating these court cases and fucking is Don Jr. the next Trump to run and blah, blah, blah. With J.D. Vance coming on the regular, and when he'll be up for, a re-election, in 2026, right? That's what they're gonna watch, and Fox News fucking knows it, and they're like, oh Jesus, we get to criticize her all the time just for being a Democrat, and we get to run protection for him, and the maggots will watch our channel nonstop as we air the same prurient bullshit like the Murdoch trials essentially on our network about Trump. That's why he's saying don't run any negative ads, don't bring on these people, because Trump thinks that Murdoch knows he can make more money with Trump in court more than in the White House. And he's a fucking mess. And they know it. And everybody around him knows it. And they're all fucking they're doing their best to fucking carry him, drag him across the, across the finish line. Yeah. Yeah. So, also, can I, this is super weird. There is a trend right now. I'll leave you on this, and I'll see you guys in the morning for House Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide with Johnny Million. And our dear friend Boston Brian is going to join us. Thank you for filling in, Boston Brian, as Philip Ittner is out. So we'll talk about regular news with him, as well as some of the stuff that's going on in Ukraine and Israel, Gaza as well, and more, Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Iran, and all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty big deal. We've got THAAD missile systems, defense systems in and around Israel now to protect them against incoming Iranian missiles. That said, there's a trend on Elon Musk's shithole site, Shitter, and this is the title of it. Let me show you this real quick. Michigan voters unanimous against Kamala Harris. Read that again. Michigan voters unanimous against Kamala Harris. First one up, John Cryer. Ignore the polls. All gas, no brakes. I just voted for Harris Walls. Kamala Harris went, let's win this. Chris Murray, white dudes for Harris. There's Gretchen Whitmer. She's ready to get stuff done for American people. Kamala Harris, let's go. This is Behezy, this fucking weirdo. He's a blogger. Trump tweets. They're all playing this. This is a clip from Harris and Trump at Battleground, Michigan today, and they've got 4 people. I think that's what it is. Like, these 4 people are unanimous. They picked these like undecideds, and the poll jacking continues apace. CNN guess. I cannot find one Arab American who would vote for Kamala Harris. They would much rather either vote third party or not vote at all, or vote for Trump. They feel they have no political power. Well, if they want Gaza turned into a fucking parking lot, that's what they'll get. And then this is the other thing too, is the betting polls are like 4 different people using crypto bought a shit ton of like Trump. They wagered it all on Trump, so it raised the expectations in it, right? And for the record, the belief is that it's either foreign money or the Trump campaign itself dumping millions of dollars into Polymarket to give them reason to say we won, and you could tell because the polls were going this direction and then we lost, right? Yep. So they get these 4 people who they're talking to because they sought out these folks who are, I guess, voting as Harris and Trump at Battleground, Michigan today. Not one person raised their hand for Kamala Harris in this MSNBC interview. It's 4 people that they found. Hold on.
For Kamala Harris here. Absolutely no.
No, not possible.
There's nothing she can do or say for us to change our mind.
For Kamala Harris here.
Right. Again. Literally 4 activists. It's silly. This is by no means. I mean, this is a state that elected Gretchen Whitmer, and this is what they're going with: 4 people. And the thing is, Michigan voters unanimous against Kamala Harris. That's the trending phrase. That's what's trending on X. It's like number 2 on my feed, anyways. It's different a little bit for everybody else. Just hilarious. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's super fun. But again, this is what's giving them that false sense of security. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. I got a show to do tomorrow, so I got to go and prep for that because I always have something to do. And another thing,